Hi, macro students. This is Dr. Sywert checking in with you this week about your material, which it says it's fiscal policy. Well, how appropriate is that when we're going through trillions and trillions of extra, the Congress or President Biden wanted extra money to fund different things such as infrastructure, that kind of thing. So infrastructure usually would be your roads, your bridges, that kind of thing, something that we would use all the time in our daily commutes and that kind of thing. I've seen a lot of the politicians saying that infrastructure could be childcare. Never really thought about that. I don't know. Just different things that it really hasn't been before. Usually it's been something tangible. You would be able to touch the bridge, go over the bridge. So we have some other things that are coming into play that maybe it'll change that. I don't know. But fiscal policy, what we're talking about is, like for somebody like me, the debt's not going to be paid off. So, the debt's like trillions right now. It's not going to be paid off. I won't see that. So this is something you guys are going to see or not. So it happened back when Bill Clinton was the president, so that would have been in the 90s. So we'd had a kind of a long stretch here where we really had some good economic times and it didn't get paid off. So now we had a bad economic time and we're going to have to spend more to help, and that's fine. I get that. What happens normally is, though, taxes are raised. So, maybe now you're not seeing that, but when you go into your job after you're done with school, you will see those things. You'll see your taxes raising. And maybe you're seeing taxes raised now in the form of gas tax. I was just loving that the gas was, below $2. Like, this is wonderful. Particularly for people who maybe have kids and they have a bigger vehicle and they use that bigger vehicle and it takes a lot of gas. So an interesting thing about gas taxes are they affect poor people worse than they would maybe somebody that already has a job and making money. Because let's say a gas tax is 7 cents on your purchase. So if we do 10 gallons, it's going to be 70 cents. If it's 20 gallons, it's $1.40. Well, if we add that $1.40 up every week, it's going to be worse for somebody that is out of work and or maybe somebody that has had a hard time in the pandemic than it is for Jeff Bezos of Amazon. So I've heard that they haven't raised these federal gas taxes for a long time, and that's probably because it does hurt people that don't earn as much. So that's kind of something to think about, I believe, as far as fiscal policy. Well, we see these things go up, like let's say the gas taxes, the gas tax. Something that we wouldn't really think about because it's already going up. I don't know. I am annoyed by it, so I would think somebody that maybe has to choose between driving as much as they want or not, that would be a big thing. And so, like I said, we're talking about fiscal policy. So right now we're in a little bit of a let's raise taxes. Yes, raising taxes can cover a lot of this infrastructure and the things that the government wants to do. Now, it remains to be seen who will be taxes will be raised on. Normally, we don't want to have raised taxes because that money that comes out of our paycheck could go for other things, like us, right? I'd rather have that in a retirement fund than going towards the government. I get the government needs money. So, we do want our fire, our police, water, that kind of thing. I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about, do we want our taxes raised to bring, as I said in my pack back, to bring Amtrak to Wichita? Do we need it? I don't know. I've never really thought I wanted to take Amtrak out of Wichita because I really could just hop on at Newton. So do we want that? I mean, those are just things to think about because they said it could be a possibility, but do I want my tax money going for that? I don't know. I haven't really thought enough about it or looked at it long enough to say yay or nay to that. So in our the what's new, I put in the U.S. debt clock, and it tells how much we all owe as far as the debt. And so now we're going to add some more trillions. We're going to add a lot more, and it shows it for each person. So like I said, it won't be paid off probably, through my tenure, but this is something to think about as you guys go through. And a couple other things too. Fiscal policy comes into play if we have inflation or a recession. So we did not really have a recession last year. People were still buying cars and houses, and they were still buying. They weren't saving, they were buying. So good. It could be in the form this year of, because we've overspent. How do we pay for that? We can't really print new money because then it's worthless. So we're going to have to figure out some fiscal policies to be able to not only pay our debt, but to not get in debt with other countries like China, because that would not be good. And then once we are in a bad debt situation as far as the country, then our buying power goes down, and so that's a stain on us. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about this week. Just as you are going through your career, take a look at these things. Take a look at if your taxes are going up or that kind of thing. And usually that is where we vote. So, if we want Jeff Bezos to pay more because he's the head of Amazon, he probably doesn't care if he does, because really, if he pays $2 billion extra, that's not going to hurt him any. It'll probably annoy him though, and he might take that money elsewhere. And that's what tends to happen with people that have that extreme wealth. So, even if we taxed them like that, it's not going to solve this debt problem, because we're talking trillions, not billions. So anyway, I hope you learned something out of this. Things are, like I said, happening right now in the economy, so it's a perfect time to be studying the economy. So anyway, have a great weekend. Talk to you later.